we've talked about a lot about male blues guitarists, but which female blues guitarists have influenced you? Or it don't have to be necessarily blues, it might be jazz or rock. Perhaps contemporary or illustrious predecessors?
Well, I'm older than, there's a new crop of women players now. There's Samantha Fish, there's Joanne Shaw Taylor, there's Anna Popovic, Orianthi. There's like, but they're all younger than me. I'm like mom.
You're the queen. They're just princesses.
So they weren't around. So the only woman that I ever heard play guitar was Bonnie Raitt, and who I loved, I mean, but she wasn't exactly, I mean, she's a great slide player, great acoustic player, but her and I play very differently. So there was no real female role models. I mean, there was Memphis Minnie, Rory Block but they were all more acoustic people. And there was like the Runaways, but when I was a kid, but I wasn't very into them. So there was plenty of women vocalists I loved. I loved Aretha Franklin, and but in terms of guitar players, there really wasn't a role model for years. And then finally I met another one, which was Debbie Davies. She played with Albert Collins, and we crossed paths, I don't know, maybe 1990. So all the years I had come up playing, I didn't know of any female guitar players. So she was the first one. And then Deborah Coleman came along. She was like next in the blues field. And there was like, that's what made it kind of unique record, was because like, oh, there's a female guitarist, playing lead and playing electric and playing blues and playing slide. It was, it was different.
Was there any difficulties? Did you encounter any obvious sexism?
Of course. I love men very much, but there's a dark side. It's definitely, and music still, I mean, it's becoming more open to women for sure. But I mean, when you're in music, the sound men were men, the agents are usually men, the club owners are usually men, the musicians. I mean, it's very, so it's turning around. But I always felt like when I was growing up, like all the things I liked to do, which is like, I love sports, I love like climbing trees and bike riding. And I was kind of, I guess they call it a tomboy. And I was like, why do guys get to do all the fun stuff? Like, why? I mean, I liked playing with dolls and whatever, but most of the things I really loved, or even music, I would sit in class talking to a bunch of guys about the latest rock record and, the latest rock album or the latest whatever. And I just made up my mind as a young girl, like, you know what? If I enjoy doing something, I don't care if it's, men do it. I want to do it. I just went for it, That's why I always loved hanging around with boys or guys, because we connected on so many things, the humor and whatever. But so then when I got to be a musician, traveling with men all the time, it wasn't uncomfortable to me. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a delicate flower, I wasn't. Yeah. I didn't have that kind of treatment, and it was like I was kind of like one of the guys,
I suppose you'll be looking forward to touring this album one day, yeah. Although all plans are on hold, aren't they?
Yes, it was supposed to come out in June, and it was supposed to be a big splash and be on tour. And I had gigs in Europe, I had gigs in America, and this is the reality we face now, Just hoping that maybe it was great timing. You never know, and until later you'll look back and go, "Oh, that was great timing." Build up steam and get my name out there, and then the touring will open up, and maybe it'll all work out perfectly. That's what I'm hoping,
Is there any plan for some kind of online event then?
I think that's definitely going to happen, and I think that's going to probably be in March sometime, because the album comes out like one of the last days in February. I think Joe and I are going to brainstorm, and I would like to get him up to Chicago and have him play with my band, That's what you're the first person I've told. So I know right now he's in the studio making a record with Jimmy Hall. So I'm not going to bother him. I'm like, when they're done, I'm going to be like, hey, Joe, I have an idea here,
So yeah. Have you got a regular show in Chicago right now? I mean, obviously, if it was...
I did. I played 4 nights a week in Chicago. I had 3 nights a week at Kingston Mines, 1 night a week at House of Blues. And then like a couple nights a month at Buddy Guy's Legends and Rose's Lounge once every few months. So I had a lot of work, and then there was a few places in the suburbs. So I had a lot of work in Chicago, but only Rose's Lounge has been doing online stuff, but Buddy Guy's hasn't opened since March. Kingston Mines hasn't opened. House of Blues hasn't opened. So I don't know I'm just hoping that the clubs survive. And so we don't even know. I mean, right now, I think this past weekend, the governor allowed 25% capacity in restaurants and clubs, but they have to be closed by 11. Yeah, it looks pretty dismal, but I'm trying to just hang in there and be hopeful.
Teresa's Lounge was gone by, I think, about 1983. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play it?
Oh, yeah, I did. I think it was open. I'm not sure when it closed, but I did play there when I first got to Chicago. So it was 1984. So I played there twice. So I did actually play there a weekend, and then actually 3 times, a weekend and then once during the week. So I did play there, and it was very memorable.
Did you meet Teresa?
I did. Yes.
How much influence do you think she had on the history of the blues?
Oh, a lot. I mean, her club was around before the checkerboard. I mean, I had much more connection to the checkerboard, but I mean, Teresa spawned, I mean, Muddy Waters played there, Howlin' Wolf played there, Buddy Guy played there, Junior Wells had like a weekly jam there. I mean, the Myers brothers, I mean, it's like part of the blues history. And she was a tough lady. I mean, to be a club owner anyway, as a woman, as a Black woman on the south side of Chicago, dealing with all these guys. I mean, she was definitely a queen, to say the least, and she was tough. And, you know, I remember her, she was actually behind the bar, and I remember she had a shotgun back there, and I was like, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you again.
Bye.
Bye.